Okay, we can go ahead and find the experimental probability. So that would be 45 times we got this first event of getting heads and a red on the spinner out of 330 total trials. We would want to make sure to reduce this fraction, but we could also just do a decimal version of our probability. 45 divided by 330 total trials is 0.136 repeating. And let's just go ahead and go through and do the other experimental probabilities. So 59 divided by 330 total trials is 0.178 repeating, the 7 and 8 part. Okay, 64 divided by 330 trials, 0.193. 45 out of 330 trials. Oh yeah, we already got that earlier. 58. And we got 59 out of 330 earlier, so we already know that one. Now the expected count would be how many times you would expect to get each event out of the 330 total trials. Well, we have 6 events. They all have equally likely chances. There's an equally likely chance to get heads or tails and an equally likely chance to get each of the 3 colors. So we would, and if these are all our possibilities, we would expect to get each one a 6th of the time, like, because there's 6 possibilities and they each have equal chances, so we would expect to get a 6th of the time. A 6th of 330 would be 330 divided by 6. We would expect to get each of these events 55 times, because they all have equally likely chances. And the theoretical probability of getting the event is, 1 out of 6, or 55 out of 330, which is 1 out of 6, 0.16 repeating on the 6. So you can see that our values aren't completely different. They're all kind of around that, but they are not exactly the theoretical probability. But it would be the same for each, since there's the same equal chance of getting each of the events. Okay. Choose one marble at random from a bag that contains 1 red, 1 green, 1 blue marble, and then toss a coin. For which compound event is the result closest to the result predicted by theoretical probability? So we can find the probability, the experimental probability of each of these. We got red with heads 11 out of 60 times. Oops. 11 out of the 60 times. We got red with tails 8 out of the 60 total times. Green with heads 14 out of the 60 times. Remember, these are all experimental probabilities because we are running a trial and seeing how many times we got each one. Green with tails 6 out of 60 times. We 1/10 anyways. 13 out of 60 times blue with heads. 13 out of 60, 2.16 repeating. Yeah. And lastly, 8 out of 60 times for the last event. Okay, so these are all of our experimental probabilities because they're based on the trials or the experiment. And we need to know what would the theoretical probability be of getting each of these. Now, it should give us an equal chance to get red, green, or blue, and we should have an equal chance of getting heads or tails when we toss a coin. So all of these events should be just as equal or likely chances as one another, and there are 6 total. So again, we would expect to get each one out of 6 times, or 1/6 chance. So we had 60 total trials, so we would expect to get each of these 10 times. It looks like this one's probably going to be closest because we got 11 times, which we expected to get it 10 times. We can also double check, with the probability 1 out of 6 is a 1.6 repeating chance. And so it looks like this one would be closest. So we'd say that this experimental probability is closest to the theoretical probability of 1 out of 6. Right, that's it for this lesson. Remember, experimental probability is based on trials or an experiment. Theoretical probability is based on what we would expect based on the way that the situation is designed. All right, go ahead and begin your 18-4 homework, and good luck.